Welcome back, Mkaya. It's 23 minutes past 8 o'clock. If you've just joined me, welcome to you. I'm Tuli Magubane, and this is My Money and Me. Right now, we're going to be chatting about investing in game. I know it sounds rather exotic. It is a type of exotic investment. And even myself, I've been out on game drives or just a game weekend away, and I've thought about it. You know, when you're out there and you sing the animals, you think, this wouldn't be a bad idea. So we've got Franco Joubert, who'll be chatting to us. He's the owner of the Northwest Wildlife Traders. In terms of how you can actually get started in investing in game. Good evening, Franco.
Good evening, Tuli. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you.
It's only a pleasure. I mean, we on this segment we talk about all kinds of investments, generally the traditional, but the people are always looking for alternative investments. So maybe just give us some background. What is exotic investing?
Tuli, thanks. I just want to clear something. Exotic is a name that's been given to the wildlife industry, and it is not exotic. You got exotic dancers and stuff like that.
So yeah,
the game is not exotic.
It has another connotation too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I say all the animals that in the breeding of wildlife are indigenous to Africa as such.
Yes.
So I don't think it's the name I think to high value game or something like that. But unfortunately, the name exotic has been given to the wildlife industry, and I think it's a term that must be removed or scrapped from the wildlife industry. Rather use high value game or just normal game as you know it in Africa.
Okay, I like that. So, you know, people will label you, so it's up to you as the industry to kind of correct it. Otherwise, people will give you labels that sometimes don't always fit.
Yeah, the only label there is a black label. That's the only thing, like I said.
I like that.
No, actually, like I said, I'm speaking on behalf of the wildlife industry at this stage. It's an industry that has grown over the past 10 years tremendously.
Yes.
There's a lot of money involved in the industry, and more or less what it boils down to, and it started as the breeding of wildlife. Like I said, species that are under threat, like the sable and the rhino and rowan and animals like that. And some of the farmers got together and started trying to save these animals from extinction. Okay. And at this stage, some of the animals have really gone up in numbers. That's a positive for South Africa as a country as well, to protect something that belongs to Africa, to ourselves.
And would this also be seen as a way of just making sure that we do preserve the animals for our future? So it could be looked at as something that's environmentally friendly and falls into conservation, so to say.
Definitely, because like I said, the upkeeping of these animals quantities will be something for the kids to come, and they will have something to look at. If we don't look after the rhinos especially and the sable, in a few years' time all of those animals will be extinct. And what will we be saying to our children if those animals only can be seen on pictures and not in nature as well? Like you said, you went to game farms and on nature rides as well. It's much nicer looking at the animal than having to look at the picture.
True, most definitely. It's got a different appeal when you sing, you know, the giraffe in front of you, or looking at a lion, seeing it in its natural habitat. It's definitely different than when you're watching it on video or seeing a picture of it. So how do we get ourselves started if we wanted to get involved in investing in wildlife?
Today there's a few options that you can look at. The first one is the breeding of animals, and we can talk about it a little bit later. But breeding is been known in the news and traveled, and all over the news they've seen the prices of animals being sold on auctions. But there's a lot more in wildlife than just the breeding. We can look at tourism, the hunting, the photographic safaris, ecotourism, taxidermy, the meat sales of meat, the community involvement in projects as well. That's beneficial to communities as a whole. It's much better than looking after animals and taking them from the area, and they can't be seen there as well.
Okay, I'm chatting to Franco Joubert, who is the owner of Northwest Wildlife Traders, talking about how you can get started in investing in wildlife and game. If you have any questions, we have our WhatsApp number. It's It's 063 688 0959. The WhatsApp number again is 063 688 0959, and it is only for WhatsApp. Don't call us. We've got a lot of missed calls on this phone, so just use it for WhatsApp. So if you're interested in investing in game and you have any questions, I can pose that to Franco there. So Franco, let's talk about the breeding, because you said that's one way of getting into it. Do you need to have any special training or background to be able to get started in breeding of these animals?
Actually, not really. Like I said, there's a lot of guys specializing in breeding at this stage, and a lot of organizations that you can go to and ask for assistance.
Okay.
The wheel has been developed, so it's not necessary to make mistakes. It's a high financial intensive breeding project that you get yourself into. So people must rather ask for guidance and assistance before trying to get on their own and try to do everything from themselves again. Like I said, the people involved in the industry, a lot of nice people, they're willing to help each other, and they're always there to assist you. If you look for the way to get started, the first thing you must have a piece of property that you can develop, or rather go into a franchise, or out of a franchise, a partnership with someone that's got property to do the things right and
Franco,
get that in place.
Just to come in there, the property, does it have to be in the particular areas where we find the game farms, or could you find a big enough space in Johannesburg?
Unfortunately, not in Joburg itself. Like I said, I don't think it's going to work there. Okay. Like I said, you need a bit bigger area to successfully breed with animals.
So it would have to be in the traditional kind of game areas, whether it's in the northwest, in Limpopo, a bit on the Eastern Cape.
Yes, there's a lot of areas that's underdeveloped, like I said, and the people are still farming like a cattle in that areas. Okay. If you take certain areas, and we're going to talk about it, farms being carried over to new farmers, and that, like I said, they haven't had the financial resources to really farm that farms to the beneficial to everyone. Like I said, if the state get involved and private ownership and partnership, those pieces of property can really be developed into something special, and it's going to cost less, and the risk of that is going to be less as well than, say, farming with maize or something like that, because the return on investment is higher, but like I said, it's going to take a longer while to get investments on return on investment.
On that. And is it possible, if you wanted to get into it, find a farm that's existing already and buy a stake in it? So basically put in a capital investment, so that the farmer has more money to continue breeding, because it is an expensive exercise, and in that way you can participate in it without really starting from scratch.
Yes, there's a few options that you can take. You can go into partnership with a farmer, or like I said, you can invest in a group of, invest your money in, like I said, in a local partnership with other guys as well, and it's more than two partners in that scheme, and you put your money in there, and the guy will manage it for you, and it will be run as a normal business. Like I said, with all the financial statements must be proven, and all the stuff that will be paid out must be controlled, and all the financials must be in place.
Okay, so that's the business side of things. And what's the compliance and the regulatory requirements? What do I need to get started as a breeder?
As a breeder, like I said, the first thing is the property. Then the property must be evaluated. Firstly, it must be fenced. If you're going to use some of the bigger animals, it must be fenced and electrified. Then you must apply from nature conservation in your area, Limpopo, Northwest, and Mpumalanga, all of these Free State, all more or less got the same guidelines that you must adhere to. If you take that all in consideration, you get the guys out from nature conservation, they come and inspect your property and say, no, it's fine, then you can continue with buying of animals and introducing that area. One thing that the guys must remember in game breeding, there's a lot of variables in that as well, and it doesn't help you to try and farm, like I said, nyalas on an old maize land, because nyalas are used to being having cover and all of that. They're not grass feeders as such. So you must look at the animals must be belong in a certain area.
Okay. And you don't need any other licensing from government and to get you started?
No, like I said, if you've got approval from nature conservation, that's it. There's a lot of
So you
regulations.
don't need anything from Department of Environmental Affairs and all of that?
No. Like I said, there's some of the animals like sable and maybe rhino that they will need a management form that you must fill in and put that into place, like I said, a business plan, especially with lions and crocodiles and stuff, species like that. Then you must adhere to the more regulations. But the normal plains game, like I said, it's straightforward. If you've got permission from nature conservation, you can go into an auction or from another breeder and buy stuff from them. And then you've got a moving permit to move it to your property, then everything is fine.
Okay, so that's not too bad. I guess the biggest stumbling block there is the property. So let's say now we've gotten to that point. You mentioned the auctions, and so how does one get to know when the auctions are, where to go, and more or less, what these animals are supposed to go for, so that you don't overpay?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of fly-by-nights out in the market as well. And if I suggest to somebody trying to get into the game farming or game breeding, whatever, like I said, get somebody that you can rely on, a friend or a trusted breeder or something, and walk the road with him. Get you guidelines and tell you about prices and all of that. Like I said, it's difficult. There's a lot of guys buying animals on the internet. Like I can't call you names now, but then they phone you 2 weeks later, said, but I paid the money, but I haven't received the animal.
Yeah, no, I was just
Unfortunately, that's if you don't do your homework, you're going to get tired.
No, I was going to say people are trying to make a quick buck.
Yes, like I said, because the game industry is a new one.
Pun intended this time, a quick buck. So, I mean, what are some of the easier animals to start breeding? I suppose buck. There's different types of buck, and I guess depending on the variety and the rarity, it requires some kind of special breeding conditions. So, what would be the easiest to start with?
The easiest will be the money the bank manager allows you to. That's like I said, if you want to get involved in game breeding, there's a lot of, like I said, choices you can make. You can start with impala, you can start with blazeback, even got enough money, you can start with sable and all of that animal. Depends on each animal has its own return on investment and its own needs that you must adhere to. Like I said, that's important for the thing is, remember, if you start breeding in a small camp area, we call small camps, like I said, 30, 40 hectares camps, then you have to feed those animals. So you must make plan for it. You must always have a vet number on your phone. Like I said, that's the one number you must always, I think your wife's name must be on second on the list and the vet's name first. Because there's a lot of money that can be lost if you don't look after your animals.
Yeah, the care of those animals. And so if you're breeding, what is the, the lifespan of the breeding process before these animals are mature enough to start selling off and buying a new, I was about to say new breed.
Naturally, like I said, the industry has gone a path at this stage, and I don't really think... you can still start by using, like I said, normal impala ewes and buy yourself a black ram, and eventually you'll get split ewes, and 2-3 years from now, 3 years from now, you might get your first black impala ram of lamb. From 10 ewes, you might get 1 or 2. But the thing is...
So how long do they take to grow from, from baby to adulthood?
Okay, like I said, let's take impala. That's like I said, the introductory level. They normally lamb, say, November, December, and you can sell that lamb in August, more or less. Yeah.
Wow.
And then it will start mating, like I said, in the next year, April, May again, and then in 2 years, 3 years time from now, 2 years, at the end of December, it can lamb again. So it's really, some of the animals are quicker to produce, and some takes longer. Like I said, the shorter the time span is between the lambing of the animals, I said the less the return on investment is. You take something like buffalo, and that takes buffalo is very expensive, but a normal, like I said, heifer will take 3 years before she'll get covered by the bull, and she only calf in year end of year 4, beginning of year 5. So it's a long-term investment, and that's what people must remember. Farming with wildlife is not a quick buck that you're going to make.
Yeah.
Really, like I said, it's going to be, you must have a love for nature and be willing to wait for that, like I said, the egg to come out.
Yeah. Chatting to Franco Joubert, who's the owner of Northwest Wildlife Traders, talking about getting into exotic investing. But today's discussion more focused on breeding, because it's one of the ways you can get into the industry. Franco, we are almost out of time. So as we wrap up, any tips that you could give to our listeners, how they can get themselves into the game?
Like I said, normal way is to get yourself a mentor and walk a road with him. Get someone that you can trust and tell him what your objectives is of how you want to get involved and what you want to achieve by investing in wildlife. Don't jump into the dam and try and learn to swim later. Rather stand on the side and ask someone to swim for you.
Okay. All right, or maybe you might just encounter some hippos in that dam.
Then both of us will learn how to swim.
All right, Franco, been a pleasure chatting to you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Mkaya, you can listen to that podcast. It's going to be available from tomorrow afternoon. Do visit our Facebook page. It's called My Money and Me with Tuli Magubane. Like the page, and you'll be able to see all the links to our podcast. And also, we have some other valuable information that will help you on your journey to financial wellness.